Hello, and welcome to an informational webinar, Bridging the Divide, California History Social Science lessons that are optimized for distance learning. Today, I will be sharing an overview of one lesson from fourth grade entitled Comprehend Constitutions. This project and all of the lessons within the project are sponsored by CLIC, our organization at the state level that is helping schools across the state and teachers across the state implement the history social science framework. We've been working for 3 years, and since March, we have changed our focus from providing professional development to figuring out what teachers really need at this time. And we thought it would be important to offer some model distance learning lessons that focus on inquiry, meet standards, address the framework, and are ready and available for you. So our lessons don't encompass an entire curriculum, but present a model of format and structure that hopefully you will find useful and beneficial as you are teaching your students in a distance learning format or in a hybrid model, or if you're flipping in between. This format works well for both. So I'm excited today to showcase one lesson so you can see the format and experience it and understand it, so you're able to utilize them, copy, and use as is, or to use it as an idea seed as you develop your own distance learning lessons. So hopefully it's something that is useful to you and your colleagues. We'll start today by talking about the format. We have written all of the K-12 lessons in a 5E format. This format is used commonly in many lesson plans. In fact, it started in science, but we felt it was an applicable and efficient way to teach students social studies through distance learning. This aligns with the format of this HyperDoc, which you can click here and see more information on the 5Es, but it's also on the next slide. And in our lesson plan format, you will see hyperlinks throughout that will push you to primary sources or places to document what you want your students to write. And everything you need is included within the lesson. All you need to do is read and click and follow the suggestions and instructions, and everything is there for you. We've utilized programs and platforms that are free and simple and easy, with the hopes that it is easy to follow for you as a teacher. I'll give you a little background information on the 5E format, but you can click on either one of these when you download the slides and can look at them further. But this is a combination of both of those documents. Starting over here, these are the 5Es that represent the format: engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. In each of the 5Es, we've provided suggestions for synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. So there are ideas for you to utilize with your students in live teaching time via Zoom or Google Meet or whatever platform you're using. And there are also suggestions for you to give to your students for their asynchronous time when they're not with you live, but that also help to utilize engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and also evaluate. So it's a very structured program, but also allows you to encourage your students to think deeply and really master our content. In the engaged phase, this is when we ask our students background knowledge questions. So we tap and build background knowledge, and our goal is to cultivate curiosity, like just get them ready to learn. And we do this in the classroom when we're face-to-face, but we expose them to things that get them excited and eager and ready to answer their compelling question. In the explore phase, we're just going through the learning experiences at this time. So a lot of the input happens during the explore phase, where they're given information, but also encouraged to explore and learn on their own. In the explain phase of the model, we are providing opportunities for students to synthesize new knowledge, ask questions, seek clarification, and hopefully boost understanding. The elaborate phase is where we apply what we've learned. We want students to develop a deeper understanding, create, investigate further, and really cement their knowledge. In the evaluate phase, we provide opportunities for students, for you to look at students' informative assessment and also summative assessment. This diagram here shows that importance of evaluation throughout the whole process. So we monitor and adjust our teaching like we do in regular face-to-face teaching with our students as we go through the different phases of the model. My name's Rebecca Valbuena, so I'll give you a quick background. I have been teaching elementary school for 30 years, 3rd grade, 5th grade, and kindergarten. In the last 5 years, I have been a teacher on special assignment for the Glendora Unified School District, and my role is primarily in professional development and academic coaching. I've been a CLIC team member for the last 3 years, and I represent Region 11, which is Southern California. I'm also the president-elect of the California Council for the Social Studies, and I'm a board member of the National Council for the Social Studies. At night, I teach a history methods class at Cal Poly Pomona. So I spend a lot of my time in history social science with people who are experts in history social science, and I'm so happy to share some ideas with you today. The lesson I'll share today basically has students compare and contrast the United States Constitution with the California Constitution, and it matches our standards and gets them to dig deep into both of those documents to make comparisons. It addresses the challenges of distance learning, particularly student engagement. So hopefully throughout the lesson model, you'll see different ideas of how we can engage our students with simple tools and also how to move in between the synchronous and asynchronous class time. We provide lessons that are relevant to students' lives and make a connection to them. And there are plenty of options for learning and assessment throughout the lesson plans. So our lessons address standards and the history social science framework. There's a strong integration with English language arts and English language development. And you will also see integration when it's appropriate in areas such as economics, geography, civics, social justice, SEL, technology, VAPA, STEM, math science, LGBTQ plus history, etc. So those are noted in parentheses in the lesson plan. So you as the educator know when you are integrating and can just feel secure knowing that you are hitting multiple content areas. I'll take you on a quick tour of this lesson. When you click on the link, you will be sent to 4th grade lessons, and there are some there now, and there will be more added in the coming weeks for a total of 5 different model lessons. When it opens, you will see a cover page. There it is. And there is our title and the project, along with the grade level and the author. In our second page, you will see the acknowledgements and a link to the actual site. I'll share that again at the end of this presentation, where there are numerous resources for you. Here you will see the authors, reviewers, and other individuals responsible for the implementation of this program. Our lesson plan, the area in blue is teacher background and knowledge information. And most importantly, you will find the learning objectives here and the compelling question. In this case, the compelling question is, why are the United States and California Constitution still important? So it's a nice open-ended question that hopefully students can answer when they finish all of the learning activities. There are approximations for how long this will take. It depends on the amount of time you have for your synchronous class in social studies. So the minutes are noted in each section, and they're 40 to 45 minutes, 30 sometimes, 4 class sessions, and then 5 class sessions of asynchronous time. But again, that's an approximation. We have our standards connections to ELA and ELD. And then importantly, we have our supporting questions. These are the questions that students answer after individual learning tasks. So we have our questions here that this lesson focuses on. The engage phase, and you'll see how it's written. So it just tells the teacher exactly how to run the class, the virtual class, and what could be done, suggestions for how to ask questions and what processes to take. So in this case, you'll revisit the classroom rules or your digital learning agreements that you probably already have made at the start of the year and discuss how those were made. We want to start with what is close to students and what they understand. And then we talk about rules at home, etc., connecting to their lives. There's a video clip here, and when you click on this link that says Jimmy Neutron, it's a quick video clip from a cartoon that's absolutely hilarious about some children whose parents have been abducted by aliens, but there are all of a sudden no rules, and they like it at first, and then they realize that it's not so fun. But that is really motivating for students and funny, and then you lead a discussion about why rules are, what is the intention of rules and laws. And eventually students will be, it'll be obvious that it's for the protection and safety and happiness. There are links here for you to continue the lesson by showing and talking about the United States Constitution and reading aloud the preamble to the Constitution. In their asynchronous time, so that is a 30-minute synchronous class time, and in their asynchronous time, you ask students you'll share a link with them, and they will read a nonfiction informative piece on the Constitution that's linked right here. And they're asked to write a response. Why is it important to study and understand the United States Constitution? So it's sort of a metacognitive question. Not necessarily a direct comprehension question, but why is it important to learn these things? And there's ideas for how to utilize formative assessment in that explain, in the engage category, sorry. In the explore category, or in that section, we ask students to do a close read with you online of the preamble to the Constitution. And you will just run a mini lesson reading that document. And then when students are in breakout groups, or if you cannot do breakout groups, it can be done whole class, they can fill out a note-taking form, which is sort of like a Cornell paper, Cornell notes. And you can click here and see the note-taking form. In their asynchronous time, they are watching We the Kids, which is the preamble in a pictorial format. And they will create a collection of drawings for each phrase of the preamble. And they have already done that in the synchronous class time. They've written what they mean. So we're really just solidifying it with drawings. Also a formative assessment idea as well. In the explain portion, students will get into breakout groups, and this is when we really take a look at the California Constitution and the California Constitution preamble, and then we will compare during asynchronous time with a Venn diagram, compare and contrast the California Constitution with the United States Constitution. There are sentence frames linked here where students will be able to write, compare and contrast sentences, but it's structured writing with sentence frames should your students need that type of assistance. Again, as with each section, there's a formative assessment idea of what to look at. In this case, you'll be looking at the student writing and deciding whether or not you will need to reteach or whether or not you can move on with the lesson. As students go into the elaborate phase, they're writing now their class constitution. So they've studied both, and they, with you in synchronous time, work on a class constitution or a preamble to a class constitution. And it's a really wonderful activity in terms of relevancy, and especially in an online situation where we really need to look at our rules and build consensus in how we're working together online. In their asynchronous time, students are directed to take a virtual field trip, and they get to see the location of the signing of the California's first Constitution. It's a little informational video, documentary style, which is a very interesting watch. At the end, we have an opportunity to evaluate our students with our synchronous learning and our asynchronous learning. So we provide students the preamble again with vocabulary reminders, and then they are asked to do some writing with evidence. So that is our lesson in a nutshell. I'm hoping that that is something that you'll be able to use and that is exciting to you, because everything's already right there. Our final thoughts, to remember that this 5E format was very intentional in its design and providing ideas for synchronous and asynchronous time, also intentional in a way to engage our students for their best thinking and deep learning. We have innovative ways throughout the lesson to engage our students and give them choices and really lean into open-ended project-based instruction. And obviously there's lots of opportunities for extension. So I know you will have ideas and resources that you can use to extend the lessons, or you can use the extension ideas that are written in. We have all of the links to, all of the lessons at the notes section of this video. And please save this site, californiahss.org, for more resources, tons of resources, as well as the links to all of the lessons K-12. So hopefully this has been interesting and useful to you. We look forward to hearing from teachers across the state in terms of how these lessons went for you, and good luck and wishing you well for the rest of the year.